For life.
Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? You know the name, you know the voice, you know exactly why we're here. I am the microphone messiah. I am joined by the Canadian Destroyer, the current reigning and sometimes defending podcast champion, Brandon Tanguma, and of course, our agent of chaos, Miss Poison Scarlet. How you guys doing tonight?
Hello, hello.
Fantastic. I don't like the little jab. Sometime defending Phillip. I have been quite defending.
You
All right,
have been.
back-to-back successful title defenses.
You have been.
Congratulations, Brandon. Gold star for you.
Thank you. It wasn't a perfect run, but I didn't promise you a perfect run.
I was like, man, this dude doesn't even watch this, and he retained. I was a little salty. I was like, it should have been me. I had my Dolph Ziggler moment. It should have been me. But
I'm just surprised that I got anything right.
Hey, there's another opportunity next weekend. Elimination.
If Dijak didn't break his finger,
Bro.
I would have had a clean. That would have been a great show for me.
Hey. It is what it is. But hey, this is the 6-year anniversary show of the BC. Woohoo! Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yes. Happy birthday to the BC. Before we get into anniversary talk about the show and everything, we have a quick message from the heavyweight champion, Mr. Alpha Zoe.
This is Alpha Zoe, the Bullet Cast heavyweight champion. I would like to congratulate the Bullet Cast for their 6-year anniversary today. I'm glad to be your guys' champion. I'm going to continue to represent you guys as best I can, traveling everywhere, defending this, and just having fun with it. You feel me? Thank you.
All right, Zoe, thank you for that one. Can't wait for your next title defense. So, guys, let's start it. Let's start it off with Katie. Obviously, ladies first. What have been some of your favorite moments from being here? I know you've been here for about 4.5 months or something.
4.5, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I loved going to Collectible Stampede with you guys and recording our what was it? Our
300th. Yeah.
300th episode. See, I'm so tired. I loved the fact that I've gotten the chance to promote women's wrestling a little more and, being able to go to the local shows and talk to people. And I've been able to help you with some of the interviews. I'm grateful for that. And I look forward to doing a lot more.
Absolutely. You represent the brand well. I've told you I've put you over to people and whatnot.
Thank you.
No problem. Brandon.
Yeah, unlike some people, you represent the brand well. Not going to name any names.
Well, I mean, brand is in your name. You're the chief branding officer, remember?
Oh, yes, of course.
Thank you. Another anniversary. Who would have thought we'd be here?
Who would have thought after some dingy Chabot College side room and then watching Impact and New Japan stuff, and
yeah,
here we are.
And then we moved to the television studio. Katie, go check out some of those episodes if you ever have time. Those are interesting. When the other guy Mitchell was with us back then.
Beautiful setting. Unfortunately, like 3 people would watch that.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah. So some favorite moments, Brandon. What we got?
Favorite moments. I mean, very similar to Katie. Just kind of going out and doing some of the interview stuff, going to the local indie shows, because before I kind of knew a little bit about like the Bay Area wrestling scene. I went to Roland's memorial show at APW. That was kind of the only indie scene I ever went to. And then now, obviously you guys are going to kind of much more than I am, but being able to check out, 5 shows a year is definitely cool. And we've been able to interview a lot of guests, some on the lower level on the come up, and then some who are some of the biggest names in wrestling. So it's been a fun ride. Once again, I feel like I say this every time we do the little thing. Who would have known? I was walking back to my car from SF State, and you gave me a text and asked if I wanted to be on the podcast. Like, sure, why not? So then I checked it out because you sent me the link to the podcast. Be honest, wasn't terribly impressed because there was 30 minutes of dead air in the podcast. I don't know what happened technically, but we showed up. I showed up, and here we are, 6 years later.
6 years later, technical difficulties and all.
They still happen.
Yes, on occasion. I appreciate you for sticking by me all this time, man. It's been fun. Thank you to all the interview guests and everybody that's been on. Thank you to you guys for joining me in this journey. in digital media when we discuss pro wrestling and whatnot. And I think the biggest accomplishment is this show has never missed a week. For 6 consecutive years, every week an episode has always been put out. I can think of only one other podcast, and that's Sam Roberts' podcast, has never missed a week. So I think that's a huge accomplishment with us. Seriously. I love that. It's just the dedication and drive to keep going and be different, and that's why I try all these other different things. That's why we have a Hall of Fame. That's why we have a heavyweight champion and all these other things. So seriously, thank you guys. And yeah, I guess that's really it.
It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour.
Yes, I don't know the rest of that song. Let's get into SmackDown. Roman Reigns, we finally discusses what happened with Sami Zayn. And then Sami attacks him and challenges him to the Chamber elimination at Montreal, and Roman accepts. Katie.
Really excited for this. I can't wait to see Roman beat the living crap out of Sami Zayn. But I also can't wait to see Sami Zayn beat the crap out of Roman Reigns. This is going to be a fun and emotional roller coaster of a match.
Brandon, I heard somebody say this could be like Punk in Chicago at Money in the Bank. Does this have that level of interest? And will the reaction from the crowd be like that on that faithful day in 2011?
I think so. Now, this where CM Punk is in terms of, where Sammy is compared to Punk, and like the storyline and everything, fantastic. I've been putting over the Bloodline story and how great it's been from like a technical perspective. Now, like the pure guttural emotion behind CM Punk was just something I don't know if we've ever really seen in wrestling, maybe since like, a Stone Cold type. And Sammy is super over. And now you add the hometown crowd atmosphere. It's going to be electric. I can't remember the last time they've been in Montreal, so I don't know. Obviously, Canadian crowds are insane. Not saying they're good, because got to stay in character, brother. But I don't remember how it's mic'd up and how it looks like. But I would assume, because the Rosemont Horizon is honestly one of the best wrestling venues for sounds and crowd reaction, so it's gonna be hard to top Punk. Because every couple months, I always go back and like watch Greatest Pops and Greatest Entrance. I always watch that CM Punk entrance, and it's going to be tough to top it, but it's definitely going to be up there. And I thought the step 1, or I guess step 2 now after the turn was really great. And they don't need to do too much.
Yeah.
So just kind of get to the show, have the match, and whatever they're doing afterwards. One thing was interesting. Cody's name was brought up. Got a little bit of a booze. We'll talk about Cody later, but just something to keep an eye on.
Yeah. I love how Roman cuts promos without mics, like when he's talking to people, and like he says it in such a tone, and it's loud enough to where the cameras will pick it up. I've always liked that, kind of like the little off the mic little talking, and it just gets picked up to where you can hear it. I've always kind of enjoyed that. I hope more of that keeps going on, not just with Roman, but with other different talents within the company. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. We can't wait to see what's going to happen with that. It's gonna be very interesting how they tell this whatever they do tomorrow. Tomorrow night, Friday night on SmackDown, and then maybe get something on Raw. I don't know. We'll see. Outside of the ring, I don't know. Did we discuss Lanny Poffo last week, Brandon?
We did not, because that happened on Thursday, but we have already recorded the podcast.
Yes. So R.I.P. to Leapin' Lanny Poffo. He was the brother of Macho Man Randy Savage. And he was the genius character in the new generation and golden era of WWE. I think our generation, Brandon, knows him for that lovely induction speech he gave his brother at the 2015 Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I was there. It was great. And at the top line of Lanny Poffo might say brother of Randy Savage, but he has absolutely no problem with that, because he loved not only putting over Randy, but putting over his dad as well. And I've listened to a bunch of interviews, because he did a lot with my boy Wade Keller, and he's definitely a character, but like the way he has with words, and just they call him the genius, and just kind of the way he talks and how much love and passion he had for wrestling and for the Poffo name was undeniable. And it's sad that he died at was 68, so still relatively young and kind of out of nowhere. And it, he wasn't like, a favorite of mine by any means, but kind of getting to know him the last couple years definitely was shocking and kind of hurt.
Yeah, I mean, Lanny Poffos did some stuff with the Elite on being the Elite when Jay Lethal was going through his whole Black Machismo thing leading up to All In. Really over the last 10 years since Macho Man's death, Lanny Poffos just been, preaching to the choir about his brother and keeping his legacy alive and really just promoting him and we could say that. Kay, do you have any thoughts on Lanny Poffos passing?
I was so sad to hear about it. I have watched reruns of the old golden era of wrestling. So I know the genius well, and he was top dollar. And I just, my heart goes out to the family.
Yes. T's and P's to the Poffo family. Jerry the King Lawler suffered a stroke. He was found face down outside of his home. He had surgery and he will make a full recovery. Jerry the King Lawler has many lives.
He's the cat.
He is a cat.
Heart attacks on live television 10 years ago, still wrestling. And then, this prayers going out to him, man. Hopefully he makes a nice, healthy, speedy recovery. Maybe dial back from the in-ring competition because he's still going.
Yeah, maybe.
73, I think, still torn, still making those towns, brother. Oh, but speedy recovery to the King. SummerSlam is apparently going to be in Detroit, August 5th. So not in July this time, which is nice. Normally it's later in August. But
I always remember it being kind of like the last Sunday of summer before you go back to school.
Yeah, that's always what it was. So hey, I'm excited. Shout out Detroit, they get something nice. A big blockbuster PLE.
First time back at the Ford Field since WrestleMania. So it's been a while since Detroit has had a big stadium show.
What WrestleMania was that?
That was not the Trump not the Trump one. Was it? No. 23. I always get
I think 23 was in Detroit, yeah.
I get 22, 23 always confused.
I think 23 was in Detroit, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, moving on from that. Why don't we talk about Deonna Purrazzo?
Yeah, she got her Impact picked up her player option, or I guess team option in this case. So she's with Impact through the rest of the year. She's been doing great stuff. A little shocking that she did get cut from WWE because I always thought she was a really good talent. Had a cup of coffee with she was with ROH for a little bit. I think she dipped her toe in with AEW just a tad bit, but has definitely had a strong run at Impact. So good for her. She probably could make more money if they didn't pick up the option, but Impact kind of showing that their hand, and that knockouts division in Impact is nothing to play with. It's sneaky good. We keep talking about it.
Absolutely. I mean, I love Deonna Purrazzo. I was a huge fan. I'm a big fan of her work. I didn't really pay attention to her when she was in NXT, and then she left and started the whole virtuoso thing over in Impact, and really just she took off. She did, hands down. I like her. Kate, are you familiar with Deonna Purrazzo? Check out the stuff. She's legit, for real. Moving on from that, apparently Booker T has officially retired.
Yeah, well, he talked about, I think, on his podcast about maybe he looked good physically, but maybe internally wasn't feeling all that great. But last time in Houston, or in Texas rather, and it's a good send off for him, and his commentary has a little bit to be desired, but Booker T definitely a legend, and that was the last one. It's been a fun ride.
All right, Katie, any thoughts on Booker T?
Yeah, good for him for deciding when he wanted to end it and going out the way he did. Getting to see one last Spinaroonie was really great.
How long was he in the Rumble? 35 seconds?
Not very long.
Not very long at all.
Longer than Chelsea Green.
Yeah.
This is those are two separate Rumbles.
Still.
Who was I forget. Was there
was it Corbin?
I
I think it was Corbin.
Look it up.
Yeah, Christopher Daniels is going to be inducted into the Indy Hall of Fame WrestleMania weekend. Congrats to him. A pioneer of the independent scene, and honestly one of the best to do it. And what, he's 50 something years old, and he's one of those guys like a Jericho, like he can still go at his age. So kudos to him, Brennan.
Yeah, Christopher Daniels has had a fantastic career on the independent scene. Uh, going back to what 90, like early, like late 90s. I forget if he was actually with WCW, but fantastic career, and a tad bit underrated, I would say. Did a lot of his work in ROH and Impact, and I mean, shout out to him. Definitely well deserved. I was a little shocked that they advertised him for a Rampage match, that he's still going. Christopher Daniels is, he's not like the tippy top, but he's definitely kind of like that next level down of that, AJ Styles, CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, Nigel McGuinness type of that era.
Absolutely. Katie, do you have any thoughts?
Well, moving on to Inside the Ring, let's go to NXT Vengeance Day. Your boy retained as usual. Wasn't a clean victory. Did tie with Phillip. Shout out Phillip. But it was the first NXT quote-unquote takeover, even though they don't really call them takeovers anymore. The first NXT PLE, we'll call that, standalone since before the pandemic, since the black and gold golden era of NXT. Top ring of the arena, I think, was blocked off. Crowd looked good. You definitely could see a couple of empty seats, but NXT, I think, desperately kind of needs to get out of the Performance Center. It's kind of bland. The crowd is what it is, and even though it's definitely not what it used to be, I thought just being there in that big time arena was a good look for them. You guys agree?
I do. I think it helped them a great deal. Well,
Yeah, I also agree.
While I figure this little hiccup out, why don't you guys keep going?
There may or may not be, I might have cursed this podcast because I said technical difficulties, and we might still have technical difficulties. We might have to come back at a later date, but we'll talk about NXT Vengeance Day in the meantime. We're not going to go through everything, single thing. It's not going to be a recap by any means, but I think the matches that you expected to be good really delivered. Wesley and Dijak was great. Probably best match of the night. Apollo and Carmelo was really good. I do enjoy having the sweep and also the first fall being around 15 minutes, so there wasn't the convoluted 5-minute pin to start it off, and Carmelo getting the sweep was interesting. He comes out later to apparently be the challenger for Braun Breaker for the NXT title at, was it Stand and Delivers, the WrestleMania show. So the rest of the card was meh. It was just kind of there. Luckily, they had those two matches I thought were really good. If you haven't seen it, go check those two matches out. As I said, those two matches great. Everything else not so great. Katie, any thoughts on NXT Vengeance Day?
I'll be completely honest with you. I did not have the chance to watch NXT Vengeance Day.
Well, you know what? It's okay. To be honest, you're not missing too much. I mean, I watched a 3.5-hour show for like 40 minutes of decent wrestling. So anyways, the fallout.
Like a good endorsement.
Well, I used to be the big NXT guy around here, so I have very high expectations for NXT takeovers, and I think I need to definitely lower them at this point. Even the main event, like you had Braun Breaker and Grayson Waller in a cage, and it was just kind of there. I don't watch NXT on a week-to-week basis, but I kind of went back and listened to like a podcast of people recapping the show who do watch it all the time, and they seem to be very tired of Braun Breaker, which is kind of interesting because I think on the outside we all kind of see him as this like next big thing and the guy that WWE is going to groom to maybe beat Roman Reigns or something like that. And maybe on the inside, people who watch NXT on a day-to-day basis, he's not like growing and not improving. And I mean, I did kind of see that. He just seemed like the same guy that I saw, last year against WrestleMania against Dolph Ziggler. So maybe something to worry about a little bit. Katie, do you have any thoughts on just Braun Breaker as a whole? I know we kind of talk about him every now and then, but do you have any thoughts about him as like a prospect?
Yeah, I mean, I could realistically see him going up to the big leagues, but I do agree. He needs some more work before we can actually take him out of developmental and put him on the main roster. He's not changing. He just kind of stays the same. And he has the same gimmick. He doesn't do anything to try to bump it up a level, really, it feels like. And I do catch some NXT every once in a while, but it just hasn't caught me.
Yeah, he's just kind of the same guy. He has, he barks. He's a little Steiner. The wrestling in ring is just kind of there. You would think with like someone like Grayson Waller, maybe he could, step it up a tad bit. With Carmelo seemingly being the next man up, I think that will be a real litmus test. He had Dolph Ziggler last year at WrestleMania, having Carmelo this year. Hopefully we can see some sort of improvements and maybe Carmelo takes it off him. But Carmelo, I think, honestly, is another guy who could and should be on the main roster relatively soon. So if you want to give him the title, I mean, are you really going to have him hold it for a long period of time and then kind of hold him down in NXT? So I don't really know. Fallout, I mean, I didn't see the show, to be honest, but the big thing, Toxic Attraction, is no more. No Mandy. JC and Gigi Dolan did their best reenactment of the barbershop turn with Sean and Marty. So looks like we're getting Gigi and JC. The Toxic Attraction implodes. Hate to see it.
Wah, wah.
The super kick was atrocious. It was terrible. But then the second kick, just a pump kick right in the face while she's leaning up against the ding dong hello door, just looked disgusting. And she's posted a photo of it. Big old raspberry on the side of her head. So hopefully Gigi's good and well. Yeah. I'm just kind of killing time right now, to be honest, because the doomsday clock is under a minute. So maybe I get cut off and just the Zoom just completely stops working. And we're going to have to come back after a word from our sponsors, or I don't know.
Lack thereof. I will say Toxic Attraction was one of the big draws for NXT for me. And now that it's gone, I'm like, what do I do now?
See them wrestle each other. I don't know what Roxy's going to do because I did see they had Caden Carter and Katana Chance kind of challenge her.
And take two. We're back. We are back. Sorry about that, guys. Technical difficulties. But Brandon was doing a great job talking about NXT.
Oh, thank you.
I enjoyed the PLE. I thought it was fun. Dijak dislocating his finger, breaking it, whatever. Yikes. Carmelo Hayes, he is him, going 2-0 against Apollo, and then I popped for Dabakato, Commander Aziz. I don't know why, but I did. I love that he was back. So him and Apollo, I guess, are going to do something. And then Grayson Waller, he performed very well, but big Brawny Braun got the job done. And I'll save this thing about Grayson Waller from when we get to the fan mail, because we do have a fan mail about him. But coming out of the fallout, JC Jane attacks Gigi Dolan. They have their rockers moment with Ding Dong Hello. That's their barbershop window. They thought it was fun. Toxic Attraction, unfortunately, is no more, so we'll see what happens with that. And yeah, any other thoughts about NXT before we move on?
I did. Why? We talked a little about Braun Breaker. What are your thoughts on Braun Breaker from last year to this year with his title reign? It's pretty much just the same guy.
Yeah, no, it's the same guy. He'll run through you. But I think Carmelo Hayes will bring something out of them, because I hope that's where they go. Stand and deliver. That's going to be something special. I hope to be there. But it's the same dude.
At 10 o'clock in the morning, I was like, oh, that's a tough look.
It's
rough.
Well, we're about to talk about that. Let's hit the fan mail real quick, because something might get people in the building for 10 o'clock in the morning. So where's it at?
Is Wale Mania on Friday?
Dude, I'm going to Wale Mania. I have to.
That's what I'm saying. If Wale Mania is Friday night, I don't know if I'm be able to get up on a Saturday morning at 10 o'clock.
Brandon, are you coming?
I don't know. I'm just teasing you.
Dude,
just edging you.
I've been talking about it with Loverboy. He wants to go to Wale Mania. Just come with us, bro.
Well,
Katie, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
What's Wale Mania?
Oh, you don't know who Wale is? Well, so he's a recording artist, a rapper. He's the one that does.
He has this great Razor Ramon remix song. It's basically
Yes, it's
every time we
fantastic.
bring it up, Phillip
No,
has to talk about it.
he Wale is the guy that sings Big E's current WWE theme. Huge wrestling fan, and every year, like at WrestleMania, he has a big party at some venue where wrestlers are there and fans can interact with wrestlers. Like last year, Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams were there. Jade Cargill was roaming around. Ricky Starks. So it looks like a lot of fun. It's just a big party, and I'm looking forward. I've always wanted to go, so I'm excited about that. But
Awesome.
let's hit this fan mail. So Dan writes in. So Grayson Waller versus HBK. I know. I know Sean said he's retired. I understand that. But look, if you want to get people in a building at 10 a.m., might have to put the chaps back on. HBK. Grayson Waller versus Shawn Michaels. Why not? Sure. I'm not opposed to it. You saw Grayson interrupted that Zoom meeting. That footage is out there online. Uh, hey, I'm not opposed to it. Grayson Waller's there to. He's not there to. And they could tell such a great story. Waller's not. He's not a fan of Shawn Michaels. He's here to be a star. Everybody else in the locker room is a fan of his. I think that's a nice story. Brandon, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm all for building the youth and developing and maybe putting more of a spotlight on NXT, and Grayson Waller's a hell of a talent. I just don't know if burning an HBK match is right for Grayson Waller on a takeover at 10 o'clock in the morning, WrestleMania Saturday. If it's WrestleMania Saturday, it should be a WrestleMania, not an NXT.
Agree wholeheartedly.
So what?
I mean,
he's gonna
I feel like Austin Theory HBK is better than HBK, Grayson Waller NXT.
He's not involved on the main roster. And Austin Theory may be wrestling Big Match John.
You never know. I can't see him, so how do I know?
Don't do that. I hate those.
Well, I mean, right now I can't see him. He's nowhere to be seen.
What's Sean gonna do? Call one of his friends? Like what? Triple H is retired. Billy Gunn's
X-Pac versus Grayson Waller. Make it happen.
Honestly, that's the only guy he could really call. Kevin Nash is not gonna do it. Yeah, so that makes sense. Do you want to see X-Pac versus Grayson Waller? Do you want to see that?
Sure, make it happen. X-Pac, make some noise.
They need something big to get people in that building that early.
Only if they play the Uncle Cracker version of his song with Albert.
I don't know.
It's a great song.
It's just an idea, man. Just an idea. Who 420?
Who?
Bryan Danielson is just giving us incredible matches on free TV. I wonder what he is saving for the pay-per-view. I'm gonna have to wait to find out. Moving on from that. Nigerian Prince. So if MJF is supposed to be a rich guy, why does his locker room look like the setting of the casting couch?
Well, maybe he likes that aesthetic.
There's more.
Maybe he likes the aesthetic.
There's more. Nothing but bare walls and that black couch. We all know about that couch. Why are there no decorations? Talking about?
Is he like a film guy? Is he like independent movie maker?
The anniversary show, we have technical difficulties. We have talks about casting couches. Yes. I get what he's saying, and because if you look at Roman, when Roman's,
I don't think the Bang Bros would have that type of aesthetic with the casting couch. They seem like higher class guys.
Back to the talk of the rich champion. You look at Roman's office; it's decorated and whatnot. Maxwell, he's supposedly this rich guy, and he's young rich guys live it up. Why isn't it?
Maybe he's frugal. He's frugal. He's smart with his money. I don't know.
Why aren't the walls Burberry? That would have been a nice touch.
He wasted all his money on the title.
I don't think so. Katie, do you have any thoughts on this? I can't hear you at all.
I still can't get over the casting couch vibes. Y'all had me rolling.
Right. Hey, that was shout out to the Nigerian Prince. But what are your thoughts on this?
In all honesty, I think they just didn't have the money to play up a set.
Tony Khan's a pretty rich dude.
Or they decided to overlook it. That's also a thing.
Oh yeah, given what MJF said in the promo, you weren't even thinking about.
No, that was a whole
MJF doesn't want to be in the locker room. He has his own tour bus. He just is there to shower and change clothes, if that.
Didn't you do that on the tour bus?
Yeah,
exactly. Maybe he doesn't have good running water. He wants some good water pressure.
And where were they at? Where were they at Wednesday?
They were in El Paso.
So El Paso has the best water pressure in the country.
Maybe better than a tour bus.
All I know is MJF's amazing.
It's a long trek from New Jersey down to El Paso, so maybe he kind of used the good water early.
These are okay. These are
maybe he had one of those patented Eddie Guerrero burritos like the Big Show had all those years ago, and he used a lot of it on the toilet. A lot of flushing had to be done. So
look at MJF. You think he's eating burritos? Look at that man.
Maybe some vegan burritos. I don't know.
He ain't eating burritos.
No, he's
burrito bowls.
No, I don't even. I
don't think he's doing that either.
A nice chicken burrito bowl.
He has a nice porterhouse.
Nice quinoa bowl.
Potato. He's got the salad.
He's having Wagyu beef.
Yeah, he's having white wine.
White
apparently
wine.
He can't. Apparently he can't afford.
You do not pair white wine with Wagyu beef.
Oh, I didn't say he had to pair it.
I just pair it with some beer.
I was just saying. I don't even know why I said that. I'll be honest with you.
Red wine, red wine, probably a
very
old red wine.
I'm not a wine connoisseur.
I am.
I've had wine a few times in my day. Sure, I was like, oh, okay, this is nice. A Stella.
I like to drink wine on days that end with Y.
Okay. Okay. You know what, Katie? We need to. You need to smarten me up on the wine.
She's our personal sommelier.
Yeah. Yes.
I got you.
Yes.
Am I going to do a wine tasting over a podcast sometime? Because I'll do it.
I do like a nice ASMR podcast. Like this tastes like. No, we're not doing.
I'm pretty sure I'm too high energy to do that.
Okay. I see. We should have our own wine. We should have Bullet wine.
I don't know if that's going to sell too well.
I don't think that's going to sell that well.
We'll find out, guys. We'll make something. Guys, we'll make something happen. We will make something happen. Even if we just steal somebody else's wine and put our logo on it. I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah, just like the Bellas do.
Just get the $2 chuck.
Whoa, brother. Let's finish the fan mail.
I have no idea anything about wine, so that was just a joke. Okay, don't come after me like Brett Favre is coming after my boy Pat McAfee and Shannon Sharp for defamation. Even though Brett Favre's out here stealing from the poorest of the poor in Mississippi. We're not talking about that. It's fine. This is not a sports podcast. It's a wrestling podcast.
Yeah.
Wow.
In Brightest Day X.
Mr. X.
The Hall of Famer. He says, could we see Takeshita joining the BCC? Possible.
Is that still a thing? I know Brian wore a t-shirt.
I know. I mean, Regal left. Moxley. Moxley wasn't even on this episode, huh?
He was not.
No. Claudio, he's doing Ring of Honor things. What happened to Wheeler Yuta?
Didn't he talk someone down last week or something? He got in someone's face last week and challenged him to a rampage match.
It just all went downhill. It really did.
Last week they came out in the Moxley Hangman match and Cesaro or Claudio and Wheeler Yuta got in between them.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. I remember. I watched the product.
Yeah, wow. Oh my god. If the BCC is still a thing, sure, why not? He says there is talk that fans are more interested in seeing Sammy beat Roman than Cody beating him. Has this become another Daniel Bryan situation? Could we see a triple threat match at Mania with Sammy involved, or are they having this match with Sammy and Roman at Elimination Chamber to disbar of the former honorary Uce?
So I kept calling it a possible Daniel Bryan situation. That was before Monday with the Cody Paul Heyman promo, and the WWE crowds now are not as volatile as they were back then. We have AEW, they've scared a lot of these people off. They don't watch the product as much. So now in WWE we have a lot of passive fans who are usually going to go with the flow. Now, as I said, Cody did get a little bit of booze when his name was brought up on Friday, but
Friday?
I don't know.
I blame the crowd.
Yeah, it's all the crowd's fault. They're probably Canada adjacent or something. But I don't know. I don't see that happening because I have faith that Cody and Roman will tell a good story on their end, and then they'll tell a good story with Seth or Kevin, Sammy, and probably the Usos. If Jay comes back and turns on Sammy, I think they'll have no issue getting the heat for that.
I see. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Could we get a triple threat at Mania? Is Roman about to smash him and stack him one more time? I don't know. I don't see it happening.
I don't see it happening. I think we're finally seeing the fall of the bloodline. But even then, I'll be completely honest, I don't know who we're going to have be the new undisputed champion.
These are tough times.
Very tough times.
Mr. X also says, just wanted to say congratulations on 6 years of the BC. I've been honored to have been a part of this journey the last few years, and I can't wait to see what the future has in store for the show. I appreciate you, my guy. You're a valued asset of this this platform, for real, for real. Before we talk about Monday Night Raw, Mania Madness is back. Yes.
Yeah.
Katie, this is something we've done over the course of a couple years. We've done Best WrestleMania. We've done Best WrestleMania main events. I think attires should be the next one.
That one has to do a little bit more research, but we might be in February, but
yes,
we got WrestleMania on the mind. So we're not going to do the full-fledged thing like we normally do. We're going to break it down a little bit, make it easier to digest. So we're just going to kind of do like one little part of it at a time. And full disclosure, I was having some technical difficulties because I was like, oh, we've had 38 WrestleManias, 38 opening matches. That should be simple. Well, I kind of forgot that we've had multiple WrestleMania days, and so that kind of threw me for a loop. So some matches may not be on here. I had to make some executive decisions, but let's be honest, those early WrestleManias were not having fantastic openers. So I don't think I've already forgot what like WrestleMania matches I've taken off here. But anyways, I've put the double WrestleManias against each other, so we will have the best of the 3 WrestleMania day 1 and 2, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. So starting off, we got WrestleMania 38.
Okay.
Night 1. Little pop quiz. Do we know what night 1 was? See, everyone's already forgot. Usos versus Nakamura and Boogs. Don't really talk about Boogs. He's back. Good for him.
Boogs.
They are taking on another tag team match. First one was for the SmackDown titles. This one was for the Raw titles. RK Bro taking on the Street Profits and Alpha Academy. Obviously, the Boogs injury limited what happened on night 1. Night 2, more action, more bodies in the ring. So, which one are you guys going on here?
I'll go with the RK Bro one. I do remember that match more distinctly. Because with the Boogs one, he hurts himself. A little bit of wrestling, one and done, and then the Usos retain. So I'm going with RK Bro. I do remember a lot more from that match.
Yeah, I completely agree on that front. And another pop quiz. Does anybody know what the first ever WrestleMania match was? Bulletcast quiz title coming soon.
Was it Tito? Was Tito Santana? Was it him?
There we go. That's one.
Tito Santana. Jesus. I don't know.
It was Tito Santana versus the Executioner. At WrestleMania 1. So that will go up against night 2, RK Bro, Street Profits, and Alpha Academy. I think we're going to see a lot of this. A old WrestleMania match going up against a newer WrestleMania match. More often than not, I think the newer WrestleMania match will prevail, just like I feel like in this one.
Okay.
Are we just going to scoot on past it? Because let's be honest, we love Tito Santana, Executioner, take him or leave him. I don't think they're passing up a modern day triple threat match for the opener. Then we got a tough one here. Tough opening round draw. WrestleMania 25, Money in the Bank ladder match, taking on WrestleMania 21, Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero.
Okay.
So this one very tough, equally good matches.
You know how I feel about WrestleMania 25.
And that is for the people.
I've been saying it for 6 years. You guys don't know? Love WrestleMania 25. But I mean, look, this was a great opener. Punk won. I was happy for him. I was 13 years old, going like, "Woohoo! Yeah, straight edge. I'm gonna be that." I didn't live up to the hype. I'm sorry.
Damn.
But Ray and Eddie. I mean, it's Ray.
It's always Ray and Eddie, 100%.
I'm going with Ray and Eddie.
I mean, I gotta agree. Maybe not their best match. Well, I don't know. I think technically it's one of their best matches in WWE. I know the ladder match at SummerSlam later on is much more memorable, but yeah, fantastic match. And I do agree. I think Eddie and Ray should move on into the second round. Then we got Shawn Michaels versus Tatanka.
Was that
WrestleMania 9.
Okay.
There you go. Taking on WrestleMania 18 or X8. Katie, this is your first WrestleMania with us. What is your opinion on that weird era of X's? Is it X8 or is it 18 or X7 and 17? I need to know because I'm a numbers guy. I'm a 17 and 18 guy.
I'm a numbers person. I prefer the like 17, 18, 19.
Thank you.
I think
the only one I divulge from is 2000, but that is 16 if you want to be technical, but I will call it WrestleMania 2000.
I think I'm a like X7 guy, and then as far as WrestleMania X8, I just go, oh, that's WrestleMania 18.
I know 17 is the one that gets people angry because that literally says X7 spelled out, but
yeah,
who cares? We got Shawn Michaels and Tatanka taking on RVD and William Regal. Maybe an underrated match to kick off maybe an underrated WrestleMania. Not the last time we'll see William Regal on this bracket. I believe I should have pulled this one up because too many words. I don't want to make these little tiny, but I believe this one's for the IC title, either the IC or the Europe. I'm not 100% sure, but
I remember this one and I loved it. So I'm going for RVD versus Regal.
Shawn Michaels and Tatanka.
You're gonna put the
tiebreaker.
You're gonna put all the heat on me, Phillip. Why do you pick Shawn Michaels and Tatanka outside of it just being Shawn Michaels?
Well, I mean, I remember. Honestly, I think I've seen probably because I've seen this one more than Regal and Van Dam. I think that's just why I'm gonna pick it. I think it's a fine match. You know, Tatanka for for a period of time, like it looked like he was gonna be the guy in WWE. You know, he was a solid worker. Came back and had that little run in the mid 2000s. So Tatanka has a special place in my heart.
I agree. And Tatanka at this point wasn't, he wasn't overpushed and wasn't kind of like a laughing stock. And this is Shawn. I believe this might be this is Shawn's second WrestleMania singles match. So this was kind of him more kind of being his own person. I believe Sherry is with them in this this one. Yes. So, I mean, it is tough. We have been having a lot of modern wrestling matches. I think a lot of modern matches are going to move on, but I'll give it to Shawn and Tatanka. Once again, Tatanka wins the match over Shawn. Maybe something I don't agree with, but
yeah,
we'll give it to Shawn and Tatanka. Why the hell not? Then the last one we'll talk about today, a back-to-back WrestleMania match. We're gonna have a couple of these later on. WrestleMania 31, IC ladder match, winning by Zack Ryder, won by Daniel Bryan. WrestleMania 32, IC ladder match, won by Zack Ryder. So the same type match back-to-back, 31, 32.
I mean, 32, you get the spot of, Stardust pulling out the polka dot ladder and you get the feels because of Dusty. 31, it was just utter chaos. And I mean, are we going to be biased because it was in the Bay?
I mean, I can be biased.
Weren't you guys at this one?
Yeah, I was at that one.
I will be completely biased. I mean, I love this match. I thought it was a great opener.
We'll give
but 32 was great as well. Like, I think it's like really close but I think the finish is probably better. Like, yes, it's a little fun note that Zack Ryder won, got his WrestleMania moment, but I think the people were more behind Daniel Bryan. And technically, I think you could say like Brody Lee, Luke Harper was really good in that match as well. John Moxley, Dean Ambrose was, he was just kind of spinning his wheels at this time. But I thought, I probably should watch back a lot of these matches because they are just so even in my mind about what they were.
Yeah, we'll give it to 31.
Oh, yay, 31. So next week we'll go over some more modern ones. We'll have 37, the 37 battle, and some other, maybe some underrated. This one is, I think, a little harder, but to finish it off, we will have probably a strong contender for the number 1 overall seed, and we'll talk about that when we get there next week.
Yeah. Let's go on to Monday Night Raw. Adrenaline in my soul, something. Cody Rhodes. Cody's out there, and then Paul Heyman comes out there, and they talk. Obviously, you got to talk about Dusty. Talk about Dusty and ECW. Go watch that footage. I just recently watched that with Carino and him back in '99. Good stuff. And then Paul Heyman got personal.
He made it personal.
He said, the last conversation I had with your father, he said you were his favorite son, but Roman Reigns was the son that he always wanted. And Cody said, hey, he's just trying to win a wrestling championship. You made this personal, bruh. Brandon, what are our thoughts?
So I keep kind of wondering how they're going to get Cody in this right position with Sammy just lurking in the background. I like the beginning, Cody acknowledging the elephant in the room and wishing Sammy the best of luck. And if he has to beat Sammy, so be it. He just wants a championship. He has no ill will towards Sammy, and he wants Sammy to win because Roman Reigns is not a great person after what he did. But yeah, just the chemistry and the little drops of truth. We don't know how truthful it is. I don't think Dusty actually said that to Paul Heyman, but everything else in there is true enough to where you can get roped into the story. And Cody is a pro's pro. Paul Heyman hasn't had like this type of shine in a while because he's just kind of with Roman. And it kind of takes me back to kind of the stuff he did with Brock when Brock wasn't there. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was great. And it kind of was like, oh, they can make this work. Yeah. With Cody versus Roman. Now I hope they don't just coast on their laurels and just say, okay, we did this great thing, let's move on, because we're still like almost 2 months away from WrestleMania. We still need to build on this. To be to be a little nitpicky, I wasn't the biggest fan of just assuming he's gonna beat Roman at WrestleMania. He kind of said like, oh, I'm gonna beat your guy at WrestleMania when Sammy's still out there, but in the moment that's very much nitpicking. But I thought it was fantastic.
Said he was gonna beat your boy. He said your boy's gonna pay. Ooh. Katie, what do you thought?
It was an emotional promo. I definitely was hanging on every word. Cody is such a pro when it comes to his promos, and how he speaks is just absolutely amazing. And then you can't go wrong with a good Paul Heyman promo. And putting the two together was like putting, in my opinion, Ian McKellen and Jean-Luc Picard in a room and just watching them talk. Oh. Absolutely amazing. Like I said, hanging on every word, just totally fantastic.
Now, I heard this on the Cheap Heat podcast. Shout out Brian Dipperstein. He said this should the storyline for Roman and Cody should just take place like on Monday. Just have Heyman and Cody continuously cut promos against each other, and Roman and Cody don't see each other until they're in the ring at WrestleMania. That's different. That's not something that's normally done. I think the only time that was done was Undertaker when he wrestled Bray and John Cena at WrestleMania. Those two, he didn't interact with them at all.
I like that.
Yeah, so
I like that.
That could be something, but I would like to see one battle between Roman and Cody on the microphone. I would like to see that.
Yeah, I think you have to have them interact. I'm not saying every week because that's not what Roman does, but definitely
have Cody pop up on SmackDown.
1 or 2 times.
Yeah, like to do something different. Have Cody pop up on SmackDown, or have Roman really just appear on Raw. Let's get some real star power back on Monday nights. Not that there isn't already, because there are some stars on Mondays. Let me tell you. But I did enjoy this. I thought this was fun, and I can't wait to see where they go from here. Maybe we get a Cody Roman interaction after Elimination Chamber, given if Roman Reigns is still the champion, of course.
Of course.
So Edge and Beth kick off the show. And then they have an interaction with Judgment Day. That whole segment goes down. Dominic getting hit with a glam slam and yelling "mommy" before. I thought that was funny. Montez Ford, the way he came down the ramp was hilarious. Katie, what are your thoughts on this whole segment?
Someone made a meme of Dominic's face when he was like lifted up for the Glamazon Slam.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I can't. Dominic is money right now. He's so freaking funny.
Love Dom.
Otherwise, watching Edge and Beth in the ring is always like just really great. And Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins coming out to beat up the Judgment Day before the match. Fantastic. I wish that Angelo had gotten the win instead of Damian, in all honesty.
Brennan?
Yeah, nothing too much to add. Edge and Beth come out and just kind of lay down the law, and looks like we're gonna get that mixed tag match at Elimination Chamber, like we thought. So, and also I do like saving Beth and Rhea's interactions, because that kind of is where the big thing is right now between them.
Absolutely. We can talk about it real quick. Montez Ford, he will be in the chamber. He made his way through. Damian did defeat Angelo Dawkins, but I think this is kind of where people thought Montez Ford's career was going to go. Given the tag team is great, but sort of a singles run to be happening. And hey, I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. The United Tez Championship or something like that. I don't know what we're doing, but I'm here for it.
I mean, I would say that, but he didn't do anything in the Rumble, so that's why I'm like, okay, we want this to happen, but is it going to actually happen?
I think he'll have a nice performance in the chamber. He may win it, and then I don't know. Like that whole chamber, anybody could honestly win the United States Championship. Like, we don't know.
It's a total crapshoot. We don't know who's gonna win.
Get your predictions ready. That could be the most important prediction you make.
Right?
Yes. The steel cage match between Bayley and Becky Lynch happened. The women they worked well together. As in Orlando, they kind of told that story. Lita showed up, the Hall of Famer, raising a little hell, giving twist of fates, helping Becky Lynch win. That was nice.
It was good to see her on TV.
Yes. We're gonna see her at the United Irish Cultural Center for West Coast Pro. They're having a TLC match inside that place. That's crazy.
I'm cashing in my my you want to take me to a West Coast Pro show for that.
Oh, now you want to go, huh? Hey, no, I'm down for real. That's going to be something awesome. Brandon, what are your thoughts on this whole thing?
Oh yeah, I thought the match was good. Antennas go up a little bit for how gregarious Lita and Becky were with each other. Maybe they go down that route, or it's just a simple tag match with Becky and Lita. I do kind of like, oh, that's what we're doing with Becky, but if that's what they're doing, I would assume Becky would love to be in a tag team match with the Lita at WrestleMania.
Do they go 2-on-3 like Evolution and Rock and Sock Connection?
I don't think that's something you should do with the women's tag team titles. I mean, I know who really cares about the women's tag team division, but even just individually, Kai and Io are probably worth more, and just have it a straight up 3-on-3 match. I don't know who you put in there with them, but
maybe Trish.
I don't know. I mean, if Beth isn't doing anything, I don't know if Beth wants to have another match.
I mean, who could they call? Like, that's really like who else can they call? That's the thing.
Spooky Alexa Bliss.
Victoria. Oh no.
Make it happen.
Anybody. Lesnar and Lashley have an encounter. Lesnar just F5s Bobby and throws a contract on him. It's for a match at Elimination Chamber. Brock work in Canada because he lives in Canada. You love it.
Talking about 4 to 5 hour sessions with Sable.
Do you think we'll get to see Sable at Elimination Chamber?
Probably not.
I wish.
I'm down for Sable to show up on TV. hear the entrance
The
thing.
the cougar yell.
Yeah. Shout out to the Cougars. They need love too.
Shout out.
Shout out. Anyway, Carmella's back. Mella's money. She's in the woman's chamber. Yay! Woo-hoo.
Yay!
Yes.
He's
Good for
back with
her.
the moonwalking, trash talking vibes.
Yes. It's kind of a mix of like that very sexualized character she was playing in the Princess of Staten Island.
Yeah.
So
It's a good mix. I like it.
I'm down for it. I'm down for it. Moving on to AEW Dynamite. Maxwell Jacob Friedman is amazing. Has a killer match with Takeshita. That spot off the top and him just landing on his feet made my ankles hurt, but I loved it.
It was so good.
It was awesome. And then him beating him down and Danielson coming to the rescue. And then let's talk about this. Let's talk about this promo. We need to talk about this. Him talking about being in high school and getting fellatio while driving and crashing and
From Liv.
from a girl named Liv. The dirt sheets tell me that this story is 80% true, by the way. And then switching
Seeing the blood on his hands.
Yes, switching seats with her, so she gets in trouble for driving, and he did, and I'm like, okay, wow, all right, Katie, how do you feel about this? Making gestures of inappropriate acts on live television.
It's what I expect from MJF, so I had no issue because this is who MJF is as a character. I kind of just love everything he does, even if it's horrendously inappropriate.
Okay. Brandon?
Match itself, fantastic. I don't know how many TV matches MJF has had, but I would say it's probably his best one. The promo, I haven't got a gauge on exactly how everyone's feeling about the promo. I know everyone's just kind of like in shock when it happened on Wednesday. I mean, like the intensity and the way he like carried himself, I thought was fantastic. The substance of it, I just have a little bit of an issue with, not from like a moral high ground thing. Just as you said, 80% true. I have a very hard time believing MJF actually did that, so it kind of takes me out of the moment a tad bit. It's like, okay, dude, you didn't actually just drag a girl's lifeless body into the driver's seat and do all that stuff. And
How do we know that didn't happen?
I don't know. I'm just gonna
When did MJF ever lie to you?
as well, and then also I don't think MJF is gonna say that he committed whatever crime that technically is
Did you hear
on
about
national television.
Did you hear about like the police were called? Have you guys heard these stories?
No.
There were like hundreds of calls made to where were El Paso, right?
Yeah.
Or not or not.
They were in El Paso.
They were in El Paso, but I think it was like to Long Island or whatever. The Long Island Police Department.
Yeah, to Long Island.
Yeah. So like hundreds of calls were made about this. I'm like, oh, that's okay.
I will say MJF and myself, great minds think alike because he has a blue Camaro. I have a silver Camaro.
Oh, I was gonna say if you were driving and someone was gonna.
No way. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
I was like, well, after that whole story, that was
No.
like that's. I think that's the last thing everyone's thinking about was his blue Camaro.
Shout out to the Katie Mobile.
The Katie Mobile is pretty amazing.
It's better than Jules. It's probably easier to get into than Jules.
Hey, look, I have a soft spot in my heart for Jules. You know, love Jules. Just not when the top's down and it's cold.
And we're driving across the San Mateo Bridge.
Yes, coming from Daly City. Just none of that.
That's a great time.
Oh,
If we
cool.
were to drive all three of us to some place in the Camaro, though, you would have to sit in the back and like scrunch your legs up.
I'm short. I can deal with that.
This is why we use my car.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Bryan Danielson defeats Roosh in a great match. But Danielson's wrestled for just over 90 minutes this calendar year already on television. This match was about 14:30, I think. I hear. This is fun. I enjoyed it. Danielson gets that big win, and then MJF attacks him. So
It was a great match.
that
I
was fun.
mean, I wasn't sure if Bryan Danielson was gonna actually make it because he looked hurt.
Yeah, I think he needs to be given some time off.
Yeah.
Like,
Now that they know he's got the match,
yeah,
like let him take a break.
like he can miss next week because he was attacked and everything, and probably
Maybe even
probably
the
show,
week after.
probably show up the Dynamite before the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Had some sort of promo saying he's been gone training and da 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 da.
Brandon, you're gonna be there. I'm trying to get into the building. How are they gonna keep our attention for an hour?
I don't know. We kind of know a little bit about where the matches are going, so hopefully it's not like a normal match or a normal card with the hour Iron Man match tacked onto it. So I'm hoping it's like a 4-5 match card, and it's not going to be so long. I mean, me personally, I would much rather see just a 60-minute straight up match than a 60-minute Iron Man match, because always in the back of your mind, the match is going 60 minutes, and so it's very hard to kind of get into that, into the near falls and stuff until the last, I don't know, 5 minutes. So I mean, MJF, as both men, had an absolutely fantastic match. Not going to say a specific B word on the said podcast, but both of them could be categorized as that. And keeping up for 60 minutes is a tough ask, but if Bryan Danielson definitely can do it, and the question is, can MJF do it? And I think he can.
I agree. I think that he definitely can. The question is, what are they going to do to make it interesting?
That's
Lots of blood.
Study that Brett and Sean one, man. Study that. It's the best one.
Oh, you mean one of the most boring ones?
How dare you? Shawn Michaels is the greatest in-ring performer of all time, and Bret Hart is a nice wrestler. How dare you say that?
Hey, I've come around on my Bret Hart hate as of late. I'm becoming more and more of a Bret guy.
Look. I mean, don't get it.
But there was a lot of stalling in that match.
Brother, listen, look, I'm a Sean guy. I met him on Valentine's Day a few years ago. Best Valentine's Day of my life. Don't get me wrong. But I'm saying Brett's done some nice stuff too. But that match is great. They go into overtime. It's fantastic. Come on, stop. The Ass Boys are the tag team champions. What the hell is going on? I love the Acclaim. Everyone loves the Acclaim. Why would they do this? They should have won them when they should have won them. They waited a little bit. They won them. And now they've lost them way too soon.
It's so that they can stir the pot before Revolution.
No. I don't like this. I don't like this one bit.
It was an interesting decision to take it off of them, because it's not like the Acclaim have cooled off by any means. I do wonder how long this gimmick will last, but I mean, and when the Guns won, I was like, oh, that was strange. We didn't get a Billy Gunn turn, which they teased a little bit, but then it didn't. So it was a double swerve, bro.
The Acclaimed gimmick can last for a very long time, because I mean, think about it. The majority of like his raps are like things that go on in the world. He's made Biden references, Newsom. I'm sure he made a Tom Brady reference already, given his second retirement and all that other stuff. So this gimmick can last for a very long time. Now they're hot. The momentum is fire. I'm sure they are selling merch like nobody's business. I know people are buying those Scissor Me Daddy ass shirts. I know people are buying those. Now, are they bold enough to wear them in public? That's the real question.
I would.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I'd wear one too. I'm not even gonna lie. I'd do it. Brandon, would you do it? Would you
my wrestling t-shirt threshold is, can I see myself wearing this out in public? That does not meet my threshold.
What, bro? Do you care what people think?
Well, it's not only just what it says, it's just the look of it.
So, who cares?
I'm not gonna. If I see somebody with the "Scissor Me Daddy" ass shirt, I will scissor someone in public.
You'll scissor in public.
Even though I was too big of a baby to acknowledge someone's Oos shirt, WrestleMania or Royal Rumble Saturday. at the grocery store.
Oh, so was it an Usi shirt?
I forget what it is. It might have been an honorary Oos shirt,
Okay.
but it was definitely a Bloodline shirt.
Gotcha.
I forget what the technical one was.
Katie, I had to smarten up one of my kids to what Usi meant. You should have saw the look on his face.
Oh no.
He was like, hey, you feeling Usi? I'm like, don't say that. Yes. Mm. Oh
Gotta
man,
teach the littles.
gotta teach them while they're young, man. All right, well, that is going to do it for this show. Superstar Spotlight. We'll get into that at a different time. I brought back the Black Power ranking. I think it went okay. It was my first one back in a while. First podcast I've done by myself in a long time. When was the last time I did a podcast by myself? That's the real question. I can't even remember. I can't even remember. But yes, let's talk
Under the Radar next week. It's coming back. Preview Battle of the Valley. If you guys didn't know, Nikki Bella has a new reality show coming or out.
She does.
So there you go. I can review that. Promise I'll put it at the end. So if you don't want to listen to that crap, you can just turn it off. But that's what you got to look forward to, guys.
I'm down to hear it, man. I'm down to hear it. This Saturday in Lodi, Realm of Warriors is going to be happening. I will be in attendance. Katie will be in attendance.
Yes, I will.
I'll be in attendance.
No, you won't.
Via Spirit.
I was about to say, brother, are you? I mean, come on, man. If you want to come. But yeah,
I'm gonna be coming.
Let's see who's on the card. Kakamang, Loverboy Leo, the Bulletcast champion, Alpha Zo, Chemo, Big Fonz, the South Pacific Savages, consisting of Journey, Fatu, and Juicy Finau. Jacob Fatu wouldn't be in attendance. The Bike Club, Midas Creed, Adriel Noctis, the High Council, Gangrel, Tarzan Duran, Kenny K, Dave Dutra, El Mago, and of course there will be an 18-person over the top rope battle royal to determine the new ROW world champion. That's a lot. You got what? 1, 2, 3, 4,
It's
5,
8
6,
matches.
7. Yeah, 7 matches. Then 8th would be the battle royal. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Some of your favorites from the Bay Area, NorCal scene are going to be there. I love it, man. This is exciting. I can't wait.
It's going to be a great show.
Yeah.
Also, before we go, can we throw out some T's and P's to Sean Sims? Man,
yes. I
totally just killed his knee.
He did, yeah. T's and P's to my coach, man. I had dinner with him last night, a little Oasis gathering, and yeah, he needs some surgery. It's unfortunate. It really is. I love Sean Sims. He's been on the show. He bit my face. Go back and watch that. That was a funny one. Great guy. One of my favorites. I love him to death, man. Sean, T's and P's for real, brother. Hope it gets better. Yes.
We hope recovery is super quick and easy, and that it's not super painful.
Don't be like me and get depressed. Don't do that. And enjoy your life. Yeah, I think that's it here. Anything else, guys? Any other tidbits about the world that is professional wrestling before we get out of here?
I don't think so. I think everyone should just tune in and see the local shows in your area and keep watching and send us fan mail.
Absolutely. Send us the fan mail. Brandon, do you have anything else to say?
No. Big hugs, tiny kisses.
Big hugs, tiny kisses. I guess. So the three of us, West Coast Pro,
I'm down.
See,
I told you I'm cashing in. I'm cashing in my card.
See a TLC match in that venue. I'm down.
With respect, I really just want to meet Lita. So.
Oh, of course. I'd love to meet Lita as well. Brandon.
My people will call your people. We'll see what's going on.
Okay, that's a busy weekend, man. AEW, Oasis, a lot's going on that weekend, man.
A lot is going on that weekend.
Yes. Thank you guys so much. The 6-year anniversary show has been concluded. We're gonna name this. I don't know. What are we gonna name this?
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Nothing with innuendos though, because this podcast.
What about casting couch?
Absolutely not. No, we are brand ambassadors, brother. No. Oh, hey, look, if they want to cut us a check, then I'm I'm not opposed. But anyway, thank
You're
you
not
guys
opposed
so
to get on
much.
the casting couch? I mean,
Thank you guys so
hey,
much.
brother, I am mad at you. Make your money, boo boo.
You know the drill. You know where to find us. All that stuff. Be safe and stay dangerous. We out.
Get up, this is a revolution. This is our time to rise. Look deep within your mind, look deep into the hate in my eyes. We are the elite, and you are the weak. No matter how hard I fall, I'll get back up on my feet. Red alert, this is gonna hurt. When your face is in the dirt, you'll know your death is what I seek. We are the elite.